a couple of days ago when I did the Declan Rice video. The Declan Rice to Manchester United, and at the same time it was a Jarrod Bowen to Liverpool, wasn't it? They were the two big stories of the day involving West Ham. Now, there were a lot of comments on the video, whether he should, whether he shouldn't, whether he would, whether he wouldn't. A lot of that type of stuff was on there. But by and large, most of the comments on the video all seem to agree that if Declan Rice did leave for pastures new, it wouldn't be Manchester United. Everyone was sort of universally in agreement that he can do better, he can go higher. And I think that's sort of a realistic, I was going to say a damning indictment, but it's not. I think it's a realistic appraisal of where Manchester United are. Because the fact of the matter is, Manchester United are more fighting it out with Brighton, Wolves and West Ham than they are with Manchester City and Liverpool and Chelsea. Which is going to be hurtful to them because Manchester City, their City rivals, are now, well, I was going to say they're a million miles away. They're probably 2 million miles away. You'll probably find that Liverpool and Chelsea are a million miles away and Man City are 2 million miles away. But there was a comment. There was one comment that sort of stood out from the rest. And it was somebody that said, along the lines of, and please excuse me if I've forgotten. To be fair, you probably don't want me to put it up anyway. But he said along the lines of, at the end of the day, oh, so he said, in the end, Manchester United is just bigger than West Ham. That's what he said. In the end, Manchester United is just bigger than West Ham. Now, I understand the point he was trying to make. What he was suggesting was, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you want to keep Declan. It doesn't matter what you offer him. Manchester United will just take him anyway, because at the end of the day, Manchester United are just bigger than West Ham. I'm not so sure. Not that Manchester United aren't bigger than West Ham, because I think in the end they are. In the end they will be. In the now, not so much. And I do believe that's why Declan won't go there. Now, it's not just about Declan. It's about Jesse Lingard as well, because Man United are part of the West Ham transfer window narrative for two reasons, which is obviously Jesse and for Declan. And I think actually the state of Manchester United is very important when you try and assess both deals. For different reasons, obviously. Look, if Declan leaves, it's because he wants to be ambitious. Declan loves West Ham. I'm sure he's very, very happy here. But there'll be one reason alone. That'll be to win trophies. Well, Manchester United don't win trophies. And the other reason would be because he doesn't feel that he can wait around for West Ham to get to where West Ham seem to be going. West Ham have a project. That's quite clear. Look at what Moyes is trying to do. Look at what Moyes did at Everton. Look at the director of football. Look at the scouts. Look at the reshuffle of the board. West Ham are a club in transition with ambition. I don't mean ambition to throw hundreds of millions everywhere, but to slowly, as you heard Krasinski say, eventually get there. That's what Moyes wants as well. If Declan Rice leaves, it's because Declan Rice will feel he doesn't have time for this long-term project. So to go back to that comment, in the end, Manchester United are bigger than West Ham? Maybe, but I don't think Declan Rice is prepared to wait to the end. What Declan Rice is interested in is the now. And in the now, I'm afraid Manchester United's rivals aren't Manchester City. They're not Chelsea, they're not Liverpool. I'm afraid Manchester United have got a job on their hands to try and be better than Arsenal and try and be better than Tottenham. Manchester United at the moment will be looking up, but they should be looking at their shoulders as well. If Brighton get a striker, then they may well find themselves in a little bit of bother there anyway. So I just don't think for those reasons that it's going to be attractive for Declan. And Man United are a basket club at the moment, a basket case of a club really. I don't know what a basket club is. They've got a whiff of the Galacticos about them. They've got a whiff of Chelsea about them. And when I say Chelsea, I mean Chelsea 10 years ago under Abramovich, where you got the impression, we don't know this for a fact, but it was certainly the story and the rumours that were being peddled at the time, that if your face didn't fit as a manager, if Terry and Lampard didn't like you, then you'd be out. And what chance did they have? I mean, really, what chance did any manager have there, really, when you know that Lampard and Terry were sort of holidaying on Abramovich's yacht? Lying back, sipping pina coladas, whatever they were drinking, saying to Roman, the manager's not all that. Felipe Scolari, get him out, he's no good. They very much controlled what was happening. If your face didn't fit, you were out. And you get the impression that the Manchester United dressing room had enough of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And you know what? He's got to go. Well, very quickly, it appears that they don't really like the look of Ralph Rangnick either. So he's got to go. And it's this quite downing of tools, but it's not quite giving 100%. It's not quite doing enough to win the matches. And despite their lowly league position, they still have some good players. They should be doing better than they are. It's not all about investment. Look, it looks like Edward Woodward's on his way. That's been a catastrophe. They're very slow to do anything, Man United. And I think it's the Glazers. I think it's actually funny enough, it took the Glazers takeover a long time to implode, but I think it's happening now. I think it's taken them ages to get rid of Edward Woodward when it was quite clear that it wasn't working out. It took them far too long to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they just do everything slow, and everyone else steals a march. That being said, they did nick Ronaldo from under City's noses rather quickly. It's not something about just trying to dig out United and have a pop at United for the sake of it. I don't actually have anything massively against United. I have great admiration for United under Sir Alex Ferguson. I think Cristiano Ronaldo, although I think his attitude at the moment probably stinks, but Cristiano Ronaldo still to this day is the finest player I've ever seen play football. And by the way, every time I say that, someone always says, "What about Messi?" Never seen Messi play football. Never ever seen Messi play football. And I'm not going to compare. Basically, Messi's a television programme to me. Ronaldo, I've seen him in the flesh, and every time he gets the ball, I'm thinking, "Oh God, he's going to score." He's got that vibe about him. In fact, one of my other favourite players, my favourite non-West Ham players, actually, that's a good one. Who's my favourite non-West Ham players? Well, one of them is Roy Keane. If you watch this regularly, I really liked Roy Keane. Just amazing to watch. Roy Keane, Ruud Gullit, Tony Adams. Yeah, I mean, there'll be Matt Letizia. I mean, look, there are a few, but look, I don't have any vested interest in kicking Man United. Is my point. But they are crap at the moment, and it's not going to be anything that's remotely attractive to Declan Rice. Declan Rice is going places. Declan Rice really is. If he leaves West Ham, he'll be going to a top club that are challenging for the top trophies, and that just ain't Man United. Man United has got to deal with a much bigger predicament at the moment. There's that old saying, that old adage, no one player is bigger than the club. Well, I think United needs to try and deal with that, because at the moment it appears that Ronaldo might be slightly bigger than Manchester United. He's not. Obviously, I know he's not. But that needs to be dealt with, certainly. But the Lingard dynamic is really, really interesting. And this is where it all hopefully sort of ties in together, unless it's rather tenuous. The whole thing about Lingard being... Man United being concerned that Lingard will hold out until the end of the transfer window, and West Ham will come in with some sort of offer and just snap him up. Like... There's an impotency, should I say, over Manchester United. Like they're powerless to do anything about it at all. Manchester United are a multi-million pound turnover club, hundreds of millions of pounds. But West Ham are Manchester United's rivals. That's it. I think it's safe to assume if we got Jesse Lingard, it would be worth more points to West Ham. You might think it's 1 point, you might think it's 3, you might think it's 6, you might think it's 9. But I think it's fair to say if Jesse Lingard signed for West Ham would gain more points than they would without Jesse Lingard. Right? Fair enough. I know I think it's really, really close between Manchester United and West Ham. I think it might make a difference. I think, look, whoever finishes above West Ham is getting European football. If West Ham finish below Man United, we're not probably getting European football. Do you see how close it is? So I just look at it, I think there's just no way. And some people are saying, well, hold on a second, even if they got 5-6 million, that's better than nothing, right? Well, it's not nothing, is it? It's not just Jesse Lingard would get into that Manchester United team. Jesse Lingard won't. Jesse Lingard must have left West Ham at the end of his loan period, with his chest puffed out. Look at me, I'm Jesse Lingard. I'm going back to Manchester United. I'm going to command my place. I've shown everyone how good I am. The loan was successful. All right, albeit he didn't end up going to the Euros. He got back into the England squad, but got man of the match in 2 of the games. He probably thought he was going back there and he'd shown everyone what he was made of, and he'd be one of the players that's in the team all the time. It's not worked out like that. Jesse Lingard's gone back to Man United and found himself exactly in the position he's in before he left. The only thing the loan did was, I think maybe it gave him a taste of what playing first-team football might have been, made everybody realise, I think, quite how good Jesse Lingard was, and got him back into Gareth Southgate's thinking. But it's not worked out for him. But this suggestion that, Man United will sell him just so they don't lose out on 5 million. 5 million is peanuts. 5 million is nothing. in terms when placed against Man United not qualifying for Europe next season. And make no mistake about it. I know they're in the last 16, but they're playing Atletico Madrid. Manchester United, look at the state of them. They're not winning the Champions League this season, right? But by all means, so if they do come back in this video, clip it out and all have a laugh. But they ain't. It doesn't look like they're going to qualify for European football next season either. And that's obviously a major problem for them. What they've got to do if they want to finish in European football next season, well, they've got to finish above at least two of these three. Arsenal, West Ham, and the other one, was it? Tottenham. They've got to finish above two of those three. I think so, anyway. Otherwise, it's just completely in doubt. Well, they ain't going to do that by selling a proven Premier League goalscorer and assister in Jesse Lingard to one of those three teams. And if they don't qualify for European football, it's going to cost them a lot. I mean, they earn a lot more in Europe than West Ham do because they got all the commercial revenues as well. It's all ratcheted. Who are they sponsored by? Car manufacturers. It's Chevrolet, something like that. It might be. I might have that wrong. Is it Corvette? Might be Corvette. One of the two. They'll be ratcheted. Basically, there might be something where they pay them 70 million a season for the shirt sponsorship just for the Premier League, and if they're in European football, they get another 30 million. I mean, it's worth a fortune, plus all the television. It's pennies. The loss of Lingard is pennies. So I just don't see any way why United in their right mind would sell Lingard to West Ham. If they did, then they're sealing their own fate. For what, 5 million quid? Well, they're probably going to lose about 50 million, at least, by not qualifying for Europe. Don't see that happening. And obviously, I also don't see the Declan Rice deal happening. For the reasons that I said. They're in a mess. Man United are in a complete mess. Never thought I'd say it, really. But they remind me of Liverpool. When, just after Kenny Dalglish, a few of you remember that, he fell out of love with football. They sort of capitulated, didn't they? I think they hired Graham Souness either immediately after or not long after. It just never, and Roy Evans and Houllier, and there was just a whole succession of managers that didn't quite manage to take Liverpool to the league title, albeit Rafa won the Champions League, of course, but they didn't quite manage to lift the league title until Klopp's come in. But it was a barren spell of about 20 years, I think, for Liverpool. But before that, I do believe that Man United had a barren spell of about 26 years until Ferguson came in. I think it's cyclical. It always goes through waves, these top clubs. And quite frankly, Man United are well off. I don't mean, well, they're actually well off, but I mean they're well off the pace. Well off the pace of being in contention. They need a massive overhaul. They've wasted a lot of money. They continue to waste money. You've only got to look at the business with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was in their academy. They let him leave for next to nothing. I mean, next to nothing. He might have got a nominal £2 million fee. They bought him back for 80 million, 86 million, something like that. And now they're going to lose him for nothing. I mean, it's terrible business. They've lost him for nothing twice. But bought him for 80 million. It's terrible. It's terrible, terrible business. They go and buy players in the wrong positions when it's quite obvious where they need to strengthen. They need to strengthen in central midfield. The obvious target is Declan Rice. It ain't happening.